Hi, welcome to my 2018 YouTube Rewind video. This has not got any kind of goofy, and hopefully it won't end up with 10 million dislikes like the YouTube Rewind. This is just an opportunity for me to say thank you to you guys for being on this journey with me this year, to show a few highlights from the 2018 videos. It's been a fantastic year. Thank you to all of you who are subscribers. If you're not a subscriber yet, please do hit that subscribe button, hit that bell button if you haven't already, because that makes a huge difference. It means that you can know about the videos as soon as my videos come out. One thing that I am so thankful for in 2018 is the opportunity I have had to meet so many of you guys who subscribe to this channel, either at gigs, at various gigs around Europe, at masterclasses I've done, even in lessons some of you have come for, or you've emailed me, or you've tweeted me, or you've Instagrammed, or seen you at the Royal Northern College of Music Saxophone Day. It's been so amazing to have met so many of you and to have received your messages and your support. It means so much to me. This year I've had close to 1.5 million minute views. That's nearly 3 years worth. And one of the things I wanted to say, which I'm so thrilled about, is if you look down here on this chart here, and it's so great to see more women here, because last year the channel demographic was kind of very heavily towards blokes. It'd be amazing to see a nice 50-50 split when I sit down to do my YouTube Rewind of 2019. That's not to say I want all the blokes to go away. Everyone is welcome here, but obviously it's just great that the videos are reaching more and more people in more and more different countries. You know, when you look down this list, it's just amazing. So let's hit that rewind button. Let's go back to January 2018.
5 things that tell the story of my life.
So number 1 on 5 objects that tell the story of my life is my camera. So I started off 2018 by telling you about 5 things that told the story of my life. It was a great fun video to make. I'm not quite sure it's had as many views as I'd hoped it would have. It's a great story idea, and I'd love to kind of find out more from you guys, kind of devices and toys and things that make a difference to you. Now, YouTube's amazing at bringing new audiences to you, but in a way there's kind of the traditional media, TV, especially BBC One on a primetime slot on a Sunday. To be able to get Jazz Vespers featured at that time was just quite incredible, and I know a few of you did come to my channel via watching that programme on BBC One about Jazz Vespers and about Methodist Central Hall and the work I do down there. I'm pretty happy with that. It wasn't great. There was a bit I'll explain in a minute with this. Into February, and I was able to get the first of 3 saxophones we've been able to bring into the studio to review for you this year, and that was the Eastman 52nd Street saxophone. It's a very, very, very good saxophone. It's very much in the same lineage as the Moriat, the Max Sax, the Phil Barones, those kind of things. These Taiwanese saxophones that are kind of trying to lift off what a Mark 6 is doing. I first heard of them by attending a Bob Mintzer masterclass. You can go and watch the review of it, make your own mind up. If you get the chance, go to places like sax.co.uk and have a go at blowing them, see what you think yourself. In February, I also started looking at adjusting my Selmer Mark 6 because of the issues I've been having with my ring finger here, which I broke 2.5 years ago. Marcel Mule, 1901 to 2001, classical saxophone, Charlie Parker. 1920 to 1955. A new piece of metal onto that and replaced the pearl key with a piece of felt. March was great fun catching up with Wynton Marsalis, who is at Saffron Hall giving a masterclass to some of the young musicians that I teach on a Saturday morning. Owen, the trumpet player, was able to get a trumpet masterclass. Sadly, the snow killed and kiboshed the idea of Wynton coming in and taking my jazz band. That was a real shame, but it was just one of those things with the weather. Later in March, I travelled with my friend Dan Grief over to France to be on the exact spot doing a live video where my mum's great uncle was killed. Ernest Lonsborough was killed on the 22nd of March 1918, just after 11 o'clock, and I was able to be stood and it was very, very poignant to have been there. It was very, very cold. It was also great to go back and visit Kwasil, where I made the video about Ernest Topping, and find this hidden culvert which has played such an important role. Now, I wasn't going to vlog today because I've got an absolutely insane day in London to follow, but overnight you guys helped me reach 1 million views. In fact, we've broken the 1 million views barrier, and it was great to have reached that milestone of 1 million views on the channel in late March 2018. And now, as I looked at the analytics today, we've nearly reached 1 million views just this year. So that was 1 million views over the whole history of my channel back in March. But from kind of January to today in December, we've nearly broken that 1 million view mark. April, I got to go to Frankfurt to the Music Messe to try the largest saxophone in the world, a sub-contrabass. It was great fun. Couldn't really get Jean-Pierre out of it, and I definitely moaned that there was no Bisky on the saxophone. It was also great to meet Mr. Yanagisawa of Yanagisawa Saxophones and play some of their new instruments, and also to play so many saxophones and visit so many amazing music manufacturers and network and talk to people. It was a real privilege to be at Music Messe. I'm looking forward to hopefully getting back there in 2019, trying out some new stuff, finding out things that you guys and I are going to want to buy over the next few years. So it's a great place to go, and I had great fun being there. Now that looks and feels very different. Kate and the kids are not home yet, so we'll see what that reaction is. I am going to grow it back, don't worry. Keep your eyes closed. Open them!
What have you done?
In April we celebrated 2 years of Dan's vlog, but that kind of led to a prelude and a lot of abuse, let's just say that was what it was, let's call it for what it was. I had to take a break. It's not clickbait. I'm afraid Dan's vlog is ending. I wasn't sure when I was going to come back. It did give me the opportunity to make some different videos, like about Kavos. It was announced this week that Club 18 to 30, which was seen as a rite of passage for many young people, myself included, has decided that Club 18 to 30 and the hedonistic holidays that it promoted are no longer wanted by today's millennial generation. It was great to have that freedom, and I may do that again sometime. Vlogs are amazing, they're great, but they can be quite constraining as to what I'm able to put in for you. So May kind of never really had anything, so into June and World Cup fever was taking hold. The weather was changing, my mood was definitely improving, and we came back.
He's back.
He's back. He's back.
Hey, he's back.
He's back. Oh, it's so good to be back and to be saying these words again. Welcome to today's vlog. Welcome to the return of the vlog. And of course, you got the opportunity to meet my twin. Why are you wearing that grey jumper? People like the grey jumper. You know, read the comments on YouTube, man. Made the biggest impact to your life in the last 6 months. So the system I've got cost me absolutely nothing. So it's currently 11:38 and 31 degrees Celsius.
35.1 Celsius recorded at Wisley in Surrey, making it the hottest day of the year so far.
Also in July, I got my hands on the KB Sax Necks. Thank you for whoever tipped me off about that. I cannot remember where the message is originally, but if you've got some gear that you think should be reviewed, let me know, because I never would have heard about these KB Sax Necks until somebody told me about them. I inquired, had a great chat with Kim, and there we are. I'm kind of endorsing them now. It's kind of amazing. Had some fantastic gigs in August. We were at Audley End, although in that long hot summer of 2018, the only 2 days that I had outdoor gigs, and it rained, so one of them gigs moved inside. It was great to be at the Spice of Life in Soho in London, a very famous jazz club in London. It's been going for over 40 years. And at the end of the month, my little brother got married, and I gave you a little sneak preview of our family wedding. I'm gonna get into my wedding suit. 3, 2, 1. Not too shabby. very much about venues. Early in September I had a great meeting at Ronnie Scott's with Paul Pace there. We had Hot Numbers Cafe in Cambridge, fantastic live music venue. They had their music license taken away. They'd had complaints about noise that was taking place, and so we travelled down and we tried to encourage you to support and try and see if that can be reinstated. On the 11th of September I also took one of my favourite trips of the year over to Belgium, just on a day trip to Ypres, to visit the grave. I was the first person in my family in 100 years to visit the grave of James Stanley Eastwood, who was my granddad's uncle, who was killed at the end of April 1918 in a gas attack. And then I went on to Tank Hot and on to the Men in Gate ceremony, and then hot-footed back to England. But it was a very interesting day, and I'm really glad I'd done it, and it's really sparked this interest. As I've said in some of the other vlogs, I had very little interest in the First World War up until starting the project about Ernest Topping, and then it's kind of the bug has bitten me, and I've really enjoyed learning more about these things. October I opened a can of worms about Leger reeds. To be fair to Leger, they've been very good. They've reached out to me. They've sent me some more samples to try. I'm going to try those in the new year. At the end of October, I finally got my hands on the Yamaha Aclia, never mind how you pronounce it, the Custom 82Z. It was great fun. In November, I headed to the Royal Northern College of Music Saxophone Day for the kind invitation of Andy Scott, who we also interviewed earlier in the year on A Coffee with Dan. Had great fun that day. The most exciting part being having a chat with Selma and being able to find out the history of my Mark VI, finding out that it was actually finished in 1955 and that it was actually a silver-plated model with a gold bell. It's just incredible to think this battered piece of metal I now have, which has had everything worn off, it was once a silver saxophone, and it was just great. And if you get the opportunity, in fact, book now to go in 2019, because I'm certainly looking forward to being there at the end of 2019. The RNCM Saxophone Day was a fantastic fun. I learned a huge amount of things, and Eric Marienthal as the guest artist was fantastic. The following week I travelled to Berlin for a series of concerts to commemorate the armistice. To be in Berlin that night working with German musicians and an Israeli musician in Berlin itself, even in my lifetime, was remarkable. To be doing it over, when I think about my father's lifetime, my grandfather who fought in the Second World War and where he would have been and what he might have thought about it, and 100 years later what my great-grandfather would have thought who fought in that war, and my great-grandmother who lost her first husband in that war. It was great to be there, and it gave me hope for the future despite everything else that's going on at the moment politically in this country. It gave me hope of where we've got to now, that we won't go back to where we have been. So that was very profound trip for me, and I'm really glad I made it. Towards the end of the month we headed to Birmingham with the quintet, did another Celebrating Blue Note gig. We've got a few more Blue Note gigs coming up in 2019. And finally December we had the final Haymakers, which we did a live stream of just on the iPhone. That whole gig was just shot on the iPhone with the Shure MV88 microphone. Maybe it shows. I thought it was great quality anyway for a mobile phone recording. It was sad to see the Haymakers go, but we also celebrate the fact we've been playing jazz there for 5 years, and to have had that opportunity was quite incredible. Later in the month, of course, we did Jazz Carols, which is something I've been really proud of. It was something I've wanted to put on properly for about 4 or 5 years, and to be able to get that opportunity to do it right in the heart of London was just amazing. And then my final bit of 2018 was, as I've shared with some of you, is to see that video on that YouTube wall. I've been going into YouTube space now for about a year, 18 months, for various different events. They've always got amazing YouTubers on, people like Casey Neistat, Marcus Brownlee, a lot of YouTubers that I really aspire to be like, and then to see one of my videos up there was very humbling. Was quite remarkable. I still puts a smile on my face, and as I said, that's down to the support you guys have given me. So thank you so much for being part of my YouTube in 2018. I'm really looking forward to 2019. I hope you'll stay with the journey. Let me know if there are things you want me to do in 2019. I've got a very interesting practice thing coming up, which I hope will come into a book into September, which is going to enable people who play any instrument to be able to practice better, to be able to just set goals that are achievable and work through things in a more logical way than maybe you've done in the past. But that's all to come. Oh, hopefully we'll have amazing fun as well. I'll take you to some really interesting places, and we'll keep on having a great time. So thank you very, very much for watching. Have a really amazing New Year, because I know some of you who will already watching this will have celebrated New Year, but thank you very much. I'll see you in 2019. Bye-bye.